How's it going? Fox back again. No camera today. It's been about 1,000,000 degrees today in England. I've been working outside in the sun all day. I'm like a beetroot, sweating my tits off, and I'm semi-naked, so I didn't think you guys would want to see that. Anywho, this is the sound we're going to be making today, along with a little beat that I made. It's a request again. It was from a good loyal follower of mine. His name is Tom Van Riet. I had a chat with him on Skype. He's from South Africa. He's a real big fan of the South African deep house that's going crazy over there at the minute. In particular, Chunda Munki. This bass was from Chunda Munki track Frozen Heart. I didn't get it bang on, so I'm going to call it a Chunda Munki Style bass. It's pretty close, but it's not as close as I've got with some of them before. So if you want to listen to the track, I will put a link to the if you want to listen to that sound, I will put a link in the description so you can compare it. So be nice to me. It's good but not perfect, but it's still a really good bass. Again, this one I'm not going to be giving away for free because I am going to include it in my upcoming Serum sound bank that will be released on Outbreak Audio when we finally get the website up and running. So yeah, let's get going. What processing have I got in it first before we go too far? Nothing. I've got a tiny bit of compression, a bit of EQ, and just cutting out some highs. I did do some modulation, and then I've cut it out, so that doesn't mean nothing. Just a bit of sidechain compression. I'll turn the sidechain off, the compression, and the EQ. And I will go ahead and initialize this, and I'll show you how I made it. Again, sorry if you can hear noise outside. Say it's 1,000,000 degrees. I've got all the windows open. Some kid going by on a fucking trike or something. But yeah, right. Oscillator 1 is a saw wave. I'll pitch this down 1 octave. The notes, what we've got going in this MIDI clip, start at D sharp 2 and go up to B2 if you want to know sort of what range it's made at. So yeah, -1, solo it, 2 voices unison, tiny bit of detune, level on full, sub oscillator, turn this on. This down 2 octaves. This is what gives it its real subby sort of beefy part, and I used a fin pulse for once. I've got this volume on this modulator with an envelope, an LFO even. I'm going to set that up now. It's a different LFO. It's a different LFO to what I've got controlling the filter later on. I used LFO 2 for this purpose. Checked it to envelope mode. I'll turn the BPM off, and it was very specifically 0.8 Hertz for it to do its cycle. I'll turn oscillator off so you can feel the effect this is having on this. Modulation was all the way around to full. So tiny bit of an attack, long sweeping decay. The saw wave. Main amp envelope, all I did was just give it a tiny bit of release, 70 milliseconds of release, just kept it out, it comes as standard. Envelope 1 is always linked to the master amp. Check it to monophonic in this bottom here because it is a bass patch. Oscillator B is going to be in the analog section. It's a basic CJW. Now, if you look at these waves in here, they're like your basic waveforms, but they've got some funky harmonics going on. The wavetable all the way around to the right, so it's a saw wave, but I mean, if we zoom in, you can see what's going on here. It's got some real groovy little harmonics when you get to the top of the spike, which helps give it a little bit more of a gritty edge than just a normal saw wave. That's the main reason I chose that. I also did a bend negative, pushed it round to about 60%, just to smooth it off a bit and make it a bit more sinusoidal, make it a little less more like a saw wave. What else did I do? Just 1 voice on this, no detune, level on full. So that's your 3 oscillators. This one was going to go down 2 oscillators as well. It definitely had an abrupt sort of stuttery feel to it. When you pitch a sawtooth down like below 1 octave or in the sort of C2 range, it gets a staggery sort of effect. When you tame that with a filter, it makes for a real sort of gritty bass. This definitely wasn't a smooth bass like a lot of the deep house basses are. It definitely had a sort of gritty edge to it. What else do we need to do? Envelope 2, what's that controlling? Absolutely nothing. So yeah, we'll set the filter up now. I used one of the MG filters, which is the Moog. I use a low 18. Cut off, I had all the way down to about 15 Hertz, so really low. And then we're going to use an LFO again to flick this round. I used LFO 3 for this. I don't know why. You can have a lot more control over how long you want the envelope to work by unchecking the BPM and then playing with the rate. I've been doing this a lot lately, so we're going to use this to open the cutoff off round to about 50, pull the resonance to 0. We're going to use it to flick the resonance round to about 36. We're going to use it to modulate something in the effects section later on, but for now that's all it's going to be doing. You see me check these 3 boxes. All the 3 oscillators that we've got on, they're all going to be going into the filter. We're going to drive it to about 23%, fat a little bit more, 39. So again, I unchecked the BPM so I could have a lot more control over exactly how fast I wanted it to attack, if you like. And it was very, very sharp attack, 0.4 Hertz. That is how long it takes it to complete this whole cycle. The rate, was 0.4 Hertz. We need to check it to envelope mode as we did with envelope LFO2, so that every time a new note comes in it re-triggers and it acts as an envelope rather than just a real slow LFO. You can see what that's doing now. It's having a plucky sort of feel at the start because it's instantly snapping to this maximum value, and then the decay is slowly closing the filter off over time. That pretty much created the sound on its own. One thing I did do is I just pulled the mix back ever so slightly. I had it on about 99% or something stupid, just to let a tiny bit of highs through. So that's the basis for the sound done. The only thing I did now is I went into the effects section and I added an EQ. That's the only thing I did. I didn't add any sort of compression because I did it on the master. The EQ, I had a boost in the lows because I say it was a real subby sort of bass heavy sound. The Q I had on 60% and the frequency 210 Hertz where it comes as standard. For the highs, this is where I applied that LFO 1 again to another parameter. I had a peak starting at around 2443, which we've got it on. Boost the gain so you can start to see it come up. Slacken the Q off to around about 49%. And then I modulated this frequency closed. This is adding sort of another resonance spike as well as the resonance on the filter, and you're going to see this moving. You'll see this peak moving now, controlled by this LFO. So as the filter's closing, it's just accentuating some frequencies as they sort of cross over. Helped make it sound a little bit more resonant. I'm clipping massively, sorry for that, should have checked that. If you're hearing any distorted artifacts, that's because I'm a dope and it was clipping and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, that's it. I say it's a real quite basic sound. One thing you could learn from this is that you don't always have to use an envelope to control a filter. You can have a lot of control over the a filter cutoff using an LFO in envelope mode, because you can control exactly how long it takes for the cycle to complete. In this state, in this instance, it was 0.4 Hertz, 0.8 Hertz. So yeah, there you have it. A Chunda Munki Style South African deep house bass. I'll play it through again with this little beat. There you go, lovely rich deep house bass. As I said earlier, this will be included in my new Serum sound bank that me and my mate will be making for our new website, Outbreak Audio. The website is outbreakaudio.com. It's not live yet. You can head over there and just keep an eye on it until it is released. When it is up and running, there will be a link in this description so you can head over there and get that pack. Many more deep house basses, new disco style sounds in there. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. Cheers.